I'm yelling at the screen like, this dude is a moron. He has no idea what he's doing. Where is his dad to tell him you're screwing up, bro? My cousin Donnie and his wife are expecting their first child. We've talked to them at least twice on this show already, dropping the same.
I'm excited because baby's due any second. She could be in labor right now.
I sent him a text this morning. I said, do we have a new cousin yet? He said, no, not yet, but we're getting close.
Yeah.
That was today.
Okay.
You asked me.
What advice would you have? Like, he's got an incoming son any second now.
You know, that's 20 years of talk. You can't get that down to 10 minutes. But if we're going to focus in on this age, like right now, my point to you was gender doesn't matter, especially for the first 2 years. Like, it's irrelevant. My advice isn't gender specific, especially for the first 2 years. And people will hear that and say, well, what happens after 2 years that all of a sudden gender is relevant? I'm not saying that gender is relevant even after 2 years. I'm saying that for the first 2 years, from my experience, that's mommy's baby in general. Right? There's not much I can do except for provide support and like overflow response. Like, hopefully you're nursing. I can't do that. Maybe there's some new science, but even if there was, I'm not doing it. And then, diapers need to be changed. You need to go to Costco and get the big bag of diapers and all that crap. And you got to do the laundry and you got to, all the stuff that needs to be done, because now running the house is down to maybe one set of hands where there were two before. So the first 2 years are very difficult for each parent, for different reasons. And for women, you have to correct me when I'm wrong. I know that there's the whole body change. It's like for 9 months, you didn't have your body to yourself. And then you had birth, which is painful, and body change. And then you still don't have your body to yourself because you have to cuddle. You have to, but I prefer that you nursed. And you've got an attachment or two. That's the deal. So it's very difficult from that side, from my perspective. And from the men's side, it's difficult because, we're having to adjust in ways that we've never adjusted before.
What is that like? I'm curious. What is it like to be the new father? What is that experience like? Because you go from being, it's me and you, to you get pushed to the side and now it's me and them and you're over there.
Yeah, that all like? Happens, but there's layers. The first layer is your entire life is getting compressed because you are having the sleep deprivation torture put on you. And that's real. And both parents are going through that.
Yeah, right? We're both going through that.
Yeah. So that is an adjustment. Another adjustment is the idea that you really no longer have access to your counterpart. So like if you really enjoy intimacy and sex and all that, that's a lot less.
It's not about you.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. There's a long drought.
Except it's suck it up.
Yeah, exactly. Then you got, you just you're problem solving all the time, right? Because nothing is the same. And I think this is so interesting that we're talking about this because we just finished watching at this time of this recording, the most recent episode of Insecure, where the dude Lawrence is now dealing with his newborn that is not in his relationship anymore and not in his city anymore. And as we're watching this, I'm yelling at the screen like, this dude is a moron. He has no idea what he's doing. Where is his dad to tell him you're screwing up, bro? So they did a good job in that show of putting on the screen some very controversial and thought-provoking
real issues that I'm sure people go through. And
that was super effective. So I'd like to actually record a whole other episode of this. I'm going to watch that show again, and we're going to actually talk about that episode of Insecure season, 5? Whatever it is, I'm going to put it on there.
5.
There's a lot to discuss there, a lot to unpack from both perspectives. And it's kind of borderline on what we're talking about here. New baby in the house, everything changes. And just to touch on it briefly, the one thing that I said as the credits rolled about Lawrence, that character, the father who is dealing with the challenges of being a dad at a distance on his first child, was he has got to understand that the balance of the universe has just shifted away from his own self-importance.
Yeah.
And until he's able to do that, he's going to struggle. You've got to let go of it being about you. And that means you've got to be open to the needs of the situation and let those things take precedent over your own self-importance.
But that's not different from a father being in the house in a marriage. You have to let go of that self-importance.
I agree wholeheartedly. So let's stop this, and we're going to watch that episode again, and we're going to actually talk about it because I think it was fantastic.
Okay.